Hello, welcome to this week's Wild Spirits News. I'm Sibylla and today is the second part of Get Ready for the 20s, the second and last part, by the way. Can I start by saying, whoa, I am delighted about the comments and the feedback that I got from you. Thank you so much, those who took the time to write in. So apparently this last episode, this little ritual for closing off the 2010s, the last decade, has struck a chord with many people. Many people said it helped them come to terms with things in a very positive way, in a very empowering way, and that's lovely to hear. So this week's episode kind of builds on the first part. So if you haven't done the first part yet, I recommend you pause the video now and go back, because you're going to need those results and that what you write down there and the graph that you make for part 2 today. So first do this, the link is below, the link to part 1, and then we can continue today where it's about setting yourself up for the best decade in your life so far. You see, the future is a lot more than just wishful thinking. A lot of it is down to yourself, and that's very reassuring. It's in your hands, right? You have the control, but it's also a big responsibility. You can't really blame anyone else. It's up to you. So today I'm going to give you a couple of tools and a couple of steps that you can take right now to set yourself up for the best decade of your life and to stack that deck in your favor. Task number 1 is called house cleaning. Don't worry, I'm not going to send you for the duster. I'm in a rather dusty and untidy house myself at the moment, so that would make me a big fat hypocrite. No, this is about your inner workings. And to do this, you need, as mentioned before, you need your results from last week's mission. So the graph and the things that you wrote down there. So now pause the video and just read through this, reflect on it, just call it back to mind for a minute or so. Okay, when you're back now, your task today is to decide what you would like to leave behind in the 2010s, in the last decade. Now this could be something. Obviously, if it's something negative, then there's no question that you would rather leave it behind. But it could also be something positive that has just served its purpose. It could be something you do, or even people in your life that you've outgrown. Something that was good for you for a while and isn't anymore. Anything, there's no judgment, anything you would like to leave behind that would not serve you in the coming decade. Now's the time to do this. And I have 2 suggestions on how to do this. The first involves writing these things down. Again, it doesn't have to be tidy, it can be bullet points. Just note down what you would like to leave behind on a separate piece of paper. And once you've done that, you tear up that piece of paper and then you burn it. Please do that in a safe place, like your fireplace or the sink or something. Don't set the house on fire, please. But it's actually psychologically, it's very good to burn it, because you literally see going up in smoke the things that you would like to leave behind. The second option, if you don't want to burn anything, is you could take a walk to a river or a brook. It needs to be a flowing water. That's very important, a flowing water. And you pick up a pebble or a stone or something, and you kind of speak into that pebble and that stone. You tell it the things that you would like to let go. Okay, it might make you feel a little silly, but bear with me here. So you feel yourself like closing these things into the stone, like charging the stone with everything you want to let go and everything you want to leave behind in the 2010s. And once you're done, you hurl that stone with all your might into that river or brook. And the flowing water is going to wash away what you would like to leave behind. Again, this is psychology, but bear with me, even if you're a skeptic, if you try this, you will feel the relief from it. Task number 2 is called Call in the 20s. Now it's time to create your vision for the next decade. And to do this, I would like you to, again, take a piece of paper or a new Word document and write down 5 questions. After this, you actually need to stop the video because it'll take some time. Once again, get comfortable, maybe light a candle, make a bit of a ritual out of it. Make sure you won't be disturbed, and take some time with this. You don't have to write an essay. It's like I said, bullet points are fine. Just note it down somewhere. It's very important to put this down in writing. So I have 5 questions for you to contemplate and write down your answers to, and I'm going to read these out to you now. Question number 1, how would you like to feel in the coming decade? This is about your emotions. How would you like to feel in this coming decade? Question number 2, what passions would you like to prioritize? passions would you like to prioritize? Question number 3 is, what do you want to focus most of your time and energy on? I'll repeat, what do you want to focus most of your time and energy on in the coming decade? Question number 4, who would you like to spend more time with in the coming decade? Who would you like to spend more time with? And question number 5, what would you like to say about this decade on the eve of the 2030s? So if it was 10 years from now, 2029, the end of December, what would you like to say about that decade, about the 20s? Task number 3 is get specific. So this task comes in 3 parts. Number 1 is to write down categories to set goals in. So the categories are, write them down, health, finances, job/business, relationships, spirituality, and passions. So these 6 categories. And now you set 1, 2, or maximum 3 goals for the coming year, for 2020, in each of these 3 categories. You can do this after the video, or because obviously this is going to take a while. The important bit is that you don't just write down some random goals, but that these goals are aligned with the vision that you set in task number 2. So make sure that all of this resonates, that it all goes in the same direction, so to speak. Because in order to create your perfect decade, you need to start with a perfect year. And you need to take the first steps towards that fantastic decade. So that is the second bit, you write down your goals. And the third part of task 3 is that you determine the first step for each of these goals. And this will be quite a few steps, so you'll be busy because you need to schedule this first step for each of the goals within the next 72 hours, so 3 days. I know, it's a lot, but honestly, the first step doesn't have to be huge. It can be really small, doing some research about it or whatever, phoning someone, or just make sure you do this today. Today's the 30th, tomorrow's New Year's Eve. On the 1st, you'll probably be a bit tired and hangover, maybe go a little easy on yourself then, but 72 hours actually carries you all the way into the 2nd of January. So make sure that within those days, you schedule a first step for each of your goals. Task number 4 is to let me know. I would really love to hear about your goals and your vision, if you feel comfortable to share. Hit the reply button on the email that you got the link to the video with and tell me, and I will email back. A little caution, normally I do this within 24 hours, but I'm currently, as you're watching this, I'm traveling. I've pre-recorded it, obviously, and I'll be back at my computer and able to answer your emails on the 3rd of January. So then you'll definitely get your answer, I promise. If you didn't get the link to the video in an email, that means you're not part of the Wild Spirits community yet, and you should join us. Go to wildspiritscoaching.com and fill in the little form there. You'll get 1 email per week, 100% spam-free. Lots of extra information and articles, recommendations of books and other resources, and sometimes you get exclusive offers that are only for my subscribers that nobody else ever gets to see. So go to wildspiritscoaching.com and sign up. You can also Google Wild Spirits Coaching, that'll get you to the website as well. Thank you for watching.